two here.
Oprah.
We got two here. They call Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, we got two wild ones here.
Woo! Woo! Yeah. Put in the word for us. And what's your name?
My name's Lance.
Lance. All right, Lance. Lance is gonna help us out. He's gonna help us with our legal matters. I'm also not
Yeah, I'm a practice stylist. Yeah, I'm a practice stylist.
and I can do photography.
I've got like maybe 5 or 6 shows right there.
You have a great sense of humor. I love it. Oprah.
You know,
It's okay, bro. I'm sure the love is there.
When I was going to college, I social active, and I marched in civil rights marches in Alabama. Because there was an affinity. I was a hippie back in those days, and
He was a hippie back in those days.
And the hippies and the black people found common ground because white society hated us both.
Right. Yeah.
Back then, not necessarily hated us both, but we were looked down upon. Back then, the blacks and the long hairs, you know, and all we wanted. You probably seen pictures, which was peace and love, you know, and Woodstock and smoke a little pot, you know, not bother anyone. And then the black people, the same, but the predominant society looked down on both of us. So we found common ground with each other, you know, because we were like, you know, fight the man type of thing, you know. But we did it in a peaceful type of way. And I marched in Selma, Alabama. I also went to Washington, D.C. for the March on the Mall in 1970.
Wow.
400,000 people
when I was
there.
born.
Wow.
400,000 people on the March on the Mall. 2 years after Dr. King was killed. And that was the first time I ever been in jail. They rounded up, the police came out in their, you know, the ninja stuff, and they started hitting people in the head and taking them, putting them in D.C. jail.
Wow.
There, the D.C. jail, it's moved now. It used to be over by RFK Stadium, but it's moved. But they put a bunch of us in jail. I ended up going to jail, and then I went back to the university. I got up and spoke about our experiences, and it was quite an amazing time. It was quite an amazing time. And I really enjoyed it. I went to school in Alabama. I wasn't from Alabama, but I was a little wild back then. And my parents had some aunts and uncles, and they said, I want to go off to college, but they want me to stay close to Uncle Bill and Aunt Betty to keep a watch over me so I don't get too wild. And I ended up living in, there was a friend of mine, his name was Jimmy Jones, but his name, he took the name Sekou, and he was part of the Black Panther movement, one of the big head people of the Black Panther out in Oakland, California. And he moved back to Alabama because his mom was real sick. And we met up in college, and he had a big afro, and he wore army fatigues on the college. Think about this, University of Alabama, in the late 60s, early 70s, and here's a guy with a big afro, black guy, and a white guy with long hair, and he's wearing these army fatigues and boots, walking into campus in the University of Alabama. I mean, we had to watch. I mean,
You guys were close?
We lived together.
Oh, yeah, lived together.
We lived together, me and Sekou, and he was one of the big leaders of the Black Panther Party back then, from Oakland, California, but he had come back to Alabama to be with his mama while his mama was sick, and we met up there. It was an amazing time. We ended up renting a house together and living together, and yeah, it was quite amazing. It was an amazing time in American history, you know, because there was a lot of turmoil and a lot of the racial and other types of turmoil that was taking place in the United States at that time. And you know, I thoroughly enjoyed it and learned a lot. And I became. I'll tell you a true story. They called when I first applied to the University of Alabama. They called and said they wanted to have a personal interview with me. And I was not living, I was living in Miami at the time. My daddy said, what do they want? Why do you have to go all the way up there? I'll have to pay for you to fly up there for what? You've already been accepted to the university. And I said, I don't know, Dad. They said they had to have an interview with me. So I went up there, and the people at the University of Alabama, think about this, 1968, they called me in there and go, you know about the racial turmoil that's in the country now. And he goes, well, we're having a hard time. You're going to live in the dormitories, and we're having a hard time, because most of the local Alabama good old boys, forgive me saying it, rednecks, they weren't going to live in a dorm room with a black person, And so they called me in there and they asked me, we're having a problem because we don't have enough. We have to integrate by law, we have to integrate the dormitories. We can't put two blacks together and two whites together because
those were the rules.
Those were the rules, and the law said you had to integrate back then. So they called me up and they wanted to know if I would mind living with a black man. I said, I don't care what difference it make to me. I said, well, boys here are not going to, the good old boys here from Alabama, the redneck, tobacco chewing, country boys, they don't want to live with no black man in dorm room. I said, well, I don't have any problem with this. Well, you're one of the few, So they put me in with. That's how I met Jimmy Jones, Sekou, and we ended up in the same dorm room together. And so our friendship evolved from there. But it was amazing. I mean, if you can think of it, doesn't seem like now. Can you imagine someone calling you to the university and asking you, "Do you mind living with a black guy?"
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
True.
I mean, but as if they were asking me, do I want to live with some
in a certain dorm room or
with somebody contagious or something like
right, exactly.
Contagious.
Like you want to live with someone who's got smallpox or something.
Yeah, right.
You want your picture taken?
UM? I went to UM.
Yeah.
What is this for?
Nothing. We're just out here talking about peace and love.
Street documentary, positivity. Anything enlightening?
I work out at the gym.
Oh, can we?
You do?
Everybody's getting on it. Harlem Kane. Yay!
What's your name?
Enlighten the people. Jenny. Welcome, Jenny, to the camera. Jenny, what do you want to tell the people on how to be positive today?
Positive
To work out every day and be positive about your health.
Your health. Any health tips? Any health tips you have for us that you personally use? Want to put out there? Water. I mean, like when do you do?
At least drink at least. I'm
6 to 8 glasses.
I'm not gonna say
6 to 8 glasses.
Drink like 6.
My name's Lance. I'm an attorney. Very nice to meet you.
What kind of attorney?
Criminal attorney. But we do divorces. We do foreclosures.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a divorce.
You get a divorce?
Yeah.
She needs your card too.
You need to get away from that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You need to be with someone who's good to you.
This is awesome. Wow.
Has anyone? No one's ever told you that you're beautiful. You never heard that before, have you? Every day.
From the gym.
She's so humble. That's the way to be as well.
Yeah. But yeah. Work out, eat right, and you'll be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And what's your name again?
Jenny.
Jenny. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Call my office.
God bless you.
Right over here on University. If you need to have any legal needs.
What's your name?
Lance.
Lance
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yes.
I'm gonna look
Perfect
that
name.
up. All right.
Thank you. God bless you. Harlem Kane. All right, Lance.